Hey everybody, welcome to again the Former Athlete Society. I'm your host. I'm Adam Ringler. As always, I'm a strength and conditioning coach and I have been one for nearly 20 years. I want to welcome you to this Former Athlete Society accountability call. And this is where we dive into a topic that helps you harness all of the tactics, all of the tools, the trade secrets, if you will, of strength coaches across the country. And I'm giving it to you in a way that allows you to harness your accountability, your tactics to dive into the best health possible for you. And I'm speaking directly into this screen right here tonight, right now, exactly. And if you're with me, you're watching this live on YouTube or anywhere else, or you're catching the replay, I have 4 accountability pillars that's going to be real game changers for you, for former collegiate athletes, current collegiate athletes, your regular house mom, stay-at-home mother, or busy working professional. It doesn't matter, right? These tactics and these tools and these accountability strategies will help you stay consistent with your training, your nutrition, your mindset, and quite frankly, it's the way we used to operate during our playing days. So expect real world, real struggles, if you will, and maybe some practical strategies along the way. Now, I've reached a point where I film these calls knowing that some days I'm going to be the only one in these calls. It's just based on scheduling. That's how it works. Sometimes I do them at 9, sometimes I do them at 10, other times I do them in the afternoons. That's because I too am a working professional. I have my own demands, I have my own job, and I can't always schedule it exactly on the dot. But that's okay. Because if you're watching after the fact and you implement just one of these strategies, you are already ahead. And so tonight we're going to cover macros. We're going to talk about maybe some hydration, timing, calendar discipline, maybe some sunlight. So let's roll. Let's get right into what I wanted to talk about today. Now, before I jump into our first sort of accountability pillar, if you will, if you have yet to subscribe, I need you to head over, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get first access to all of the videos that we post here on YouTube on the Former Athlete Society. Do that, take 5 seconds, and join our YouTube channel. So the very first thing I want to talk about, right, and I get this quote all of the time. I've been tweaking my macros for years, and here's the strategy that nobody ever talks about, right? So that said, we're going to dive right into it, right? And we are going to jump into macro tracking. I've used this macro hierarchy for years. Carbs first, fats second, proteins last. So we need to preserve that hard-earned muscle. We need to push conditioning, sure, but we also need to guard our CNS. And for me, I log everything. I weigh daily. I let the math do the talking. You want results? We need to track it. So let me start with macro balancing you, right? Some of you, and maybe many of you, I don't know, many of you know that I'm a big advocate of logging, tracking, and just monitoring your TDEE, right? Your total daily energy expenditure, and tweaking intake. The principle I follow is quite simple. My carbohydrates are always my first lever that I pull down when calories need to be reduced. And this is for me, right? I'm not talking professional athletes. I'm not talking college athletes. I'm not talking to even the athletes I work with. I'm not a registered dietitian. That's not my job. That's not what I do. When I'm talking about body composition changes for me and for former athletes that I work with, right? This is what I'm talking about. So I pull that lever first. Then fats come next. And protein, I treat that as sacred. That's my last resort to lower. And here's why. When you're in a calorie deficit and you're still training hard, like I just finished training, right? I'm pushing weight. I'm trying to progress on my exercises, on my weights, and all of my strength work. You want to preserve as much lean muscle mass, as lean tissue as possible. So you lower that protein too low and your body starts cannibalizing its muscle. And that's not the goal. The goal is to preserve that muscle that you earned back in your playing days and back as you're training. Now, on the flip side, I often ramp up my conditioning as well. But here's the key nuance. Pushing your conditioning is a tool. It's not gospel. It's not therapy. You increase your calories burned, sure, but too much conditioning without your recovery taxes your central nervous system. And listen, I've been there, stacking rucks and uphill runs and jogs and steady state cardio nearly every single day. In 2 weeks, my sleep suffered, my strength dipped, my mood lagged. I learned the hard way. Availability is ability. And if you trash your central nervous system, chasing a large deficit, you're training only half a month, right? Not at all. So here's the real world plan for you right now. If you log everything, right? Everything that you consume down to the teaspoon of salad dressing, and you weigh yourself, or whether it's daily or every other day or on your check-in days, you can literally calculate your TDEE in real time. So apps like MyFitnessPal, MacroFactor, Carbon, they do the algebra for you. They intake minus your weight change equals probably your actual maintenance calories required. And every gram of carb or fat or protein matters. So it's sort of like an actionable takeaway from that, right? Start logging your calories, start logging your nutrition. If you aren't already, take your body weight first thing in the morning when you wake up and track it. And if you're losing weight too fast, you bump your carbs or your fats just a little. If you plateau, reduce them slightly, but only when those are already low do you consider dropping protein, right? But usually you probably shouldn't. That's the last lever I ever pull. So trust me, that's a road you rarely need to go down. Now, moving on to sort of topic 2, but before I do, I need to remind every single one of you guys, right? I have a website. It's adamringler.com. You can sign up for free right now. Free, right? It's covering my eyes right here, but sign up for free. I have a newsletter there. I publish everything that I do, behind the scenes access to strength and conditioning, to the really cool things that we're doing, not only professionally here, but also insights into research, insights into tactics and tools and habits and things that you can do to better your health, but also the Former Athlete Society and some of the cool sports science and strength conditioning materials. Again, super easy to do. Head over adamringler.com, sign up for free. Now, moving on. And this topic, I love this topic. I think it's so rad. And I want to be able to share it with you because it's been something here in Colorado that I've been doing and I love. And it is trying to get more sunlight. But we got to be safe about the sunlight because there's some risks here. So I think like this is the thought process that goes through my head. Think you need vitamin D? Yeah, you probably do. But sunlight is more than just a pill. It resets your mood, your focus, your drive, and just 15 to 20 minutes a day made a huge difference for me. So, as somebody that needs sunlight and that loves sunlight, I think it's really important for you as well. Everyone says that vitamin D matters, and here's why sun affects so much more than just that. Okay, so bear with me here because we're gonna get into it a little bit here, right? I'm gonna get a little botanical, if you will, here for a second, right? I need you to think of yourself as a houseplant. No, really, actually think of yourself as a green plant. A lot of us former athletes, we live inside training facilities, offices, basements, you name it. And for years, I trained in windowless weight rooms that barely ever saw daylight. So here's the turning point, at least for me, right? N of 1. I notice my mood swings, my energy lowers, dips, right? My motivation, all of that. The sunlight, I realized I missed it so much. So I started making a personal habit every single day, 15 to 20 minutes of literal sunshine, bare chested, preferably early in the day. And I know that sounds kind of odd, but within a week or two, it was really noticeable for me. I had clarity, I had drive, even workouts felt a little easier. Now, vitamin D is an obvious benefit from the sunlight exposure itself, right? But it does more than just that. It hits retinal receptors, signaling you living in the present moment. It helps regulate your circadian rhythm, your cortisol responsiveness. Mentally, it just feels good. Your brain kind of says, hey, you know what? I'm okay here. Now, if you're stuck in a windowless weight room like I am, right? Or you're coaching all day long, here's a small little hack that at least helped me. Schedule your sun break the same way that you schedule a meeting. Maybe it's walking out to your car and you're stepping in sunlight before you get back into the facility, or you're standing at a window. Wherever you can, get some skin exposure. Even 10 to 15 minutes helps. Now, Dr. Andrew Huberman talks about that sunlight, at least from an eyeball perspective, is less effective when it's behind a window. So if you can actually get outside in the sun, that will help you so much more. So take the time, take 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it might be, and get outside. Now, another story, I had a buddy of mine, ex-college baseball player, he turned an assistant coach, and he came to me after a month of complaining of fatigue. Now, we added that sun ritual that I just spoke about. And again, he reported better mood, better sleep, and even his energy levels during the 5 a.m. workouts improved. He said, man, I just needed a little bit of sun. And isn't that kind of all of us? We all need to. So this is my recommendation for you. Tomorrow at the same time, set your phone or your calendar and remind yourself to step outside in the sunshine. That is it. If you can pop your shirt off, right? If you're a dude or whatever, go for it, right? Or at least enough uncovered skin, maybe your arms, to absorb it, and make it your non-negotiable. That would take you places. I'm telling you, I swear to you. Now, if you've stayed with our former Athlete Society, our accountability call thus far, a couple reminders here. If you have not already done this, we can get these numbers up and improve these, right? Our likes, our subscriptions to this YouTube channel, my Adam Ringler YouTube channel. I want you to be a part of this. This is something I'm really a passion project of mine. I'm growing, and I want you to get notifications when we drop these new videos. In addition to that, if you have yet to do this next step, I invite you. And that is simply right here. Head over to Adam Ringler, right? Instagram, Twitter, everywhere else, Blue Sky, if you will. This is my Instagram right here. I want you to follow my account. I share behind the scenes access to what we're doing, not only here at Colorado, but also just as a strength coach. I share some really cool and rad things as well. And I would love for your follow at that place. So next topic, let's move on. We got another great one, right? And this is, again, I'm just going to throw this out here and see if it sticks. Now, I was drowning, and I use that word literally, my sleep in water, because I was dehydrated from carb cycling. And the fix for me was shifting my hydration into the day and tapering after 7 p.m. And what I found was no more bathroom trips at 3 a.m. I had better sleep, better training, better gains. And I'm telling you, if you try it, you're also probably going to sleep better, because this hydration hack literally saved my sleep during a real steep calorie cut. So for me, again, N of 1, when I dipped deeper into a much greater calorie deficit over this summer, one thing really sabotaged my recovery. And that was the middle of the night bathroom trips, right? Maybe too much information, whatever. I was, and still am, quite frankly, pounding nearly 200 ounces of water a day. But without that muscle glycogen, storing it to help pull that water into the cell, most of it just ended up, quite frankly, in my bladder. And my sleep got decimated. I'm telling you. I'd start strong, and then I'd wake up maybe at 2 a.m., at 3 a.m., at 4 a.m., again at 5 a.m. And it didn't take too long before my mood really started to sputter, my training felt stale, and my recovery flatlined. It was not fun. So again, here's maybe some of the physiology behind it. Glycogen is stored with water, about 3 grams of water for every gram of glycogen. And when you're carb cycling and your carbs are really low, like mine is right now, dropping carbs midweek before, let's say, my Saturday evening refeed, your glycogen stores are completely depleted. Now that water goes into your bloodstream. That's the idea of hydration, but instead of muscles. It goes into your bloodstream instead of your muscles. And unless you taper maybe water intake later in the day, it just gets flushed overnight. Now for me, I had to course correct. And the shift was really, really simple for me. All I had to do was roll back the bulk of my hydration so it didn't occur after 7 p.m. That might have still totaled 200 ounces, but I front loaded it from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. I spaced it out a little bit better. And now after that, I sipped water when I needed to in the afternoons and the evenings, but I held off on chasing those extra liquids closer to bedtime. Now, when I did that, everything changed. My sleep consolidated. I recovered better. And my workouts just felt a little sharper. I wasn't sleep deprived because I had to wake up 4 times to urinate in the middle of the night. Now, for you, what I'm recommending in this accountability former athlete call is that start tracking not just your total ounces, but also when you are intaking those ounces. Look at your intake by the hour. Notice if that intake is disrupting your sleep, right? If your sleep is interrupted by any means, especially if you're deep into a calorie deficit like I am, then simply bring most of the hydration in earlier part of the day and let your kidneys do the rest before the lights go out, right? Your sleep wins and your recovery wins when you do that, right? Moving on, our last and final pillar of our accountability call in this former athlete society. But before I do one more thing, I need you to go over to our YouTube channel. You're watching it here anyways. Take a moment, go pop over, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell one more time here at our YouTube channel at Adam Ringler, and get first access to when these videos drop so that we can continue to cheat the algorithm a little bit and get in front of more eyeballs. That would be so rad of you. I would appreciate that so much. This last thing is super critical, and it's something that I've employed almost the last decade, if you will. And here's the secret that I think most people ignore. Don't ever delete your workouts. Shuffle them. Your calendar becomes your unbreakable commitment. And when something interrupts your plan, just move it. Don't lose it. Build discipline and discipline muscles by honoring those workout blocks and those calendar blocks. So most people delete workouts. I never delete them. And here's why it really matters. This part is about habit integrity and accountability. And I'm serious when I say this. I never delete a scheduled event. Not workouts, not meals, not wind down routines. Instead, I just simply shuffle it. If something pops up, I don't cancel it, I move it. Your calendar can easily become part of your non-negotiable, your commitment device. It's your accountability device. So here's how it works maybe in practice. Say at 5 p.m., you have a strength training block. Then for whatever reason, a work meeting appears at the same time, right? And we've all been there and we all know how that makes us feel, right? But instead of deleting your training, oh, there's the meeting, I got to delete this training, you look at the next available slot. Perhaps after dinner when energy's lower, or maybe early morning if that's feasible. You keep the block intact, but you shift it around on your calendar. That keeps your baseline intact mentally and emotionally. Now, why would that be important? Because deleting sends a subtle message in your brain. Your training isn't important. We can just cancel it. You can just delete it. But shifting it or shuffling it sends this sort of, I'll get it done, but at a different time. And that tiny little semantic shift fuels consistency. Now, over time, your internal coach, that little part of you, right, respects you more because you don't ever erase your commitments. You adapt around them, but you never erase them. Now, I coach former athletes often who feel defeated by life's little interruptions here and there, and they pull out of workouts because something came up. But when you respect your calendar, even if you have to shuffle it around, you reinforce your own discipline. It's not rigid, it's being resilient. So my tactic to you now is that open your calendar right now. Pause this video here, right? Let's go back. YouTube, you can pause it right now. Open up your calendar and look at your next several days of training. If any workout blocks are missing, add them into your calendar right now. Now, if something clashed recently, don't delete it, just reschedule it and reschedule it into another time slot that's open. So keep your meal prep windows, keep your wind down routines, keep your training intact, and your body will thank you for it. Now, you've heard all 4 accountability pillars today in this accountability call, from macro strategies like sunlight and hydration timing and calendar, discipline, all those things. These aren't theoretical concepts. They're finely tuned habits that I, as a strength and conditioning coach for nearly 20 years at this point, I use these daily. And I've refined them over the years of being both an athlete and now a coach. They're practical, they're repeatable, and they're built for longevity. And you notice how maybe each topic has a direct, actionable takeaway that you can apply right now, that you can implement. That's the whole point of these former athlete society calls. They're not concepts, they're real world advice. So what I need from you is to pick one. And maybe it's shifting more of your hydration earlier. Maybe it's honoring your calendar system better. Maybe it's the levers that you pull from dropping carbs before fats, before proteins. Or simply maybe it's just stepping outside and getting 15 minutes of sun. But if you do one of these things consistently, I'm telling you as a coach, you're ahead of easily 80% of people. Now, lastly, if you found any value in this accountability call, here's what I'd love for you to do next. And that's, you have to hit that like button. You have to subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future accountability calls or deep dive episodes about strength, performance, nutrition, and lifestyle habits. And if you want a structured experience with coaching and community and tools to help you stay consistent over the long haul, what I need you to do is simply head over to adamringler.com, sign up for the Former Athlete Society tier, right? The subscription level at adamringler.com. Sign up for that. And there's a reason why former college athletes thrive when they stay connected. And that's precisely what you're going to get with that membership. So as always, I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for investing in your consistency, for being a part of this community, even if you're just watching it solo. You're not alone. Keep pushing. And I will see you this Thursday. We have a question and answer call this upcoming Thursday. I want to see you there. And let's keep building this Former Athlete Society together. I appreciate you. Take care.